So I was recently at a friend's workshop, and the majority of the time he works with wood, and he was doing a project and he had quite a few of these left over, and it's just soft pine, and he's cut it out on his drill press using one of those circular saw bits, and he had a few left over, so I grabbed a few because I thought they'd make really good headphone housings. So these are the drivers that I'm going to use for the headphones, and they came out of a pair of Sony headphones that I picked up off eBay. I think they normally retail at around £30, but I picked these up for £4 because the headband on them was actually broken, so we're going to actually use those inside the headphones. I'm also going to be using these headphones here that I picked up from a cheap store. Paid £1.99 for these, and I picked them up because I quite like the headband, and the headband is actually surprisingly comfortable, but the noise that comes out of these can't even be described as noise. It's even worse than noise. I'm also going to be using some cement with these headphones as well. Cement seems to be getting quite popular as a material to make things out of, and some people have made speakers etc. out of cement, and apparently you get quite a good noise from it. As with wood as well, wood's becoming more and more popular, so I'm going to use some cement in this as well, just to make them a little bit different. So I've dismantled the cheaper headphones that when I showed you that I said I was going to use the band, and these are some of the other parts that I intend to use as well. I'm going to use some of this plastic housing to support my new wooden housing, but all of this is going to have to be modified because I want to grind all this down to make it nice and flat. Still use these little plastic discs that we use to hold the foam in place, and I'm going to use these metal sliders that go on the headband as well, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a wire brush on those and take them back to a silver finish and lacquer them. So what I've done with the wooden parts of the headphones, I've given them another good sand with some really fine paper, and I've actually applied some wax to them, and I'll probably add another coat when they're finished as well. It's not a dark wax, it's quite a light wax, but I think it's done quite a nice job. I prefer doing that than staining them. So I'm about ready to add the cement to these now, and what I've decided to do is I've got some double-sided sticky tape, and I've stuck it all flat against the bottom here, and I'm going to pour it in from the top, and I'm hoping that it's really strong double-sided sticky tape this. I'm hoping that'll stay in place while it sets. I've also, hopefully you can see, I've put a little black mark 5mm up from the bottom in both of them, because I think 5mm should be enough to secure it in there, so I don't want to go any deeper than that, otherwise we might struggle for some room by adding the drivers etc. So I'm going to mix up the cement now, pour it in, and we'll see what it looks like when it's set. So what I'm doing now, I'm just gently tapping it to get all the air bubbles to the top. I made it a little bit runnier than it said on the instructions, but hopefully it's going to set okay. So whilst that cement's drying, I got on with modifying the housing to take the new drivers. Now what I've done, these are the cheaper headphones that I'm using to mount, as I've already said. I've cut out this bit here that used to protect the original crappy drivers, and I've made it just big enough to fit these newer Sony drivers in, like so. And this is one of the things about modding. You get an idea in your head and you look at your materials you've got and how you're going to put them together to create something new, but what I've decided to do with this is, here you can see where I've got this all nice and flat, because originally I was going to put that up against the wood like so, but what I've decided to do now is put that side up against the wood, and I've got little screw holes here that we used to construct the headphones previously, and I'm going to put little screws through there to screw into the wood to fasten them all together. And this is the ring that the foam goes round and just fits in these 3 holes here. I'm just going to have to make these legs a little bit shorter so they're not sticking out, and when all that's in place, it's going to cover all that scarring and scraping I've done getting that plastic flat, which plastic is really hard to cover up when you get scratches and things like that in place. And I really don't want to paint them, because paint tends to end up flaking off, especially on plastic. And also, by using the screws to fasten it down to the wooden housing on these headphones, I'll be able to upgrade them in the future, maybe if I get some better drivers, or if they break, I can get in there and solder up or whatever I need to do without having to tear the headphones apart, which is what I would have had to do if I'd have glued them. So I just wanted to show you that it's something that has just come to me as I've been taking these apart and constructing them. It wasn't something I thought about previously. So if you get a pair of cheap headphones and have a go at doing this, then they may not be exactly the same as this, but just have a look at what you've got and how you could possibly do something like that, especially thinking forward to how you may have to perform some maintenance on it in the future. So we're coming the end now, and we're just starting to put it all together, but there's a couple of things I want to show you. I've drilled a hole in the side there and led the speaker wire up, and I've tied a knot in it as some strain relief. I've also used this little plastic guide cover thing here that I took off the old pair of speakers, and I've drilled a hole and arrowdited that in so it's secure. This is the wire guides that hold the headphones onto the headband, and they were black, and I got a wire brush and I got rid of all that black paint, and they've been fitted into there, and also a little bit of arrowdite so they're not going to pull out. So this is the driver for the headphone, and like I previously said, I've flipped this around. I'm going to use those screw holes in there so I can screw them onto that wood there. Also, these little plastic rings that hold the foam in place, the cushion, I'm reusing those like I said, and there was a little lip that runs around there that fitted into that side, so I've just ground that down and got rid of that, so we'll be able to get in and service it, etc. And like I said, if I find some slightly better drivers, I can always change them out. So now what's left to do is to strip this wire back and solder on to the speaker drivers themselves and screw it all up, and hopefully that'll be it. I've put some little tiny screws to screw directly into the wood, so this is connected now to this wooden rim, and I've already put the pad on the other one, and I think it's come out rather well. So here are the finished headphones, and I have to say they do sound quite good. I don't know if it's anything to do with the wood and concrete, but they do sound rather bassy. But I'm quite pleased how it turned out. And if you want to see, or if you're wondering what the inspiration for these headphones were, it was this pair of headphones here. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more builds like this, and I'll catch you next time.